All right, looks like we are live and you're seeing, yeah. All right, let's make sure we got audio here. Yep, we got audio and we're good to go. Going to go ahead and pop on over here to Figma and make sure that we've got that up and running. We've got a few things to look at this morning and making sure Discord is going to fire off our announcement so that we can get this underway. Um, let's go ahead and it's raining outside, so I'm quarantining, I guess, myself inside for the morning. Um, but we've got a few things to look at here. So looks like Discord has looks like Couchbot has fired. So we're going to go ahead and get this out of the station. Let's make sure we've got Miro, we've got Figma is over here. And yeah, we got two things in Figma, one thing in Miro, and we should be good to go. All right. Let's go ahead and pull up the old NewPragmatic to start the backdrop there. Greetings, one and all. Chris Courtney here, NewPragmatic's time for the feedback loop. A subdued feedback loop. Got a couple students in here this morning. We've got Bryn and Abby. Both have submitted work. And being that I have no front video today, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into it. Bryn is in Miro, and she's been working through, and you can kind of see where she's been adding some elements here. Let's go ahead and there we go. She's now added, and this is funny, Bryn. I know that you weren't even thinking about a homepage, and I was more focused on like the application and what needs to be there. But you're exactly right. You've got to it does take time to build a homepage. You got to think about, well, what's going to be on said homepage. Now, I am interested. I am interested in seeing how this comes together. It looks like you are going to be basically getting the shopping experience started on that homepage, which I think is fine. Um, no reason to quarantine and keep people out of that. I am interested though in what's going on down here in your backlog, and looks like you're saying that pairings and nutritional info and some of the labeling may come at a later date. Um, but that's really the big change overall is you added this homepage and now you have a much more robust selection of things that are going to be falling into that later category. I'm interested because it looks like a lot of things that were added down here as well. So some sort by looks like sort is getting pushed to the next iteration. Order tracking, um, report a problem, order ratings, so some feedback. Um, looks like um, maybe some information related to additional methods, rewards program, account notifications, gift cards. So those are things that are all falling to the wayside for V1. But you can still see that there is a substantial amount of work to be done in V1. So I think that this is fine. I do like seeing that like there are some things to work on in the next iteration. I would suspect, Bryn, that the number of things that you have above the line will shrink. I think that your backlog is going to grow as you begin to get into this. But I want to see how far you would push that naturally without getting into the build. Because what I suspect will happen is you'll get into this V1 and you'll say, you know what, I'm not really testing for that. I'm going to cut back a few things here and a few things there, and that's all going to spill over into the backlog. The backlog always grows as time goes by. All right, so that's your Miro board, and I think it looks it's hard to say something that looks great. It looks accurate is the word that I'm looking for. So it looks accurate, and I do like the fact that you've got a couple of categories or a couple of tasks here that have nothing in V1 they are V2 considerations. So that's the other thing that I like to see there. All right, let's go ahead and hop over to Figma, and I guess it will pop. You know what? Actually, let's do this because I know that I want to keep Bryn and Abby together, so they're not having to hop around the video and look at each other's stuff. But here, Bryn, you've started the priority guides, and I think let's see here. Okay, this is the grocery subscription application words, but it's in the reverse engineering part one. I think what you're looking for is the part two, so you can carry through that third iteration. Right now, this is intended to be leading it basically reverse engineered um, off of this toggle page. So you want to move these over, but let's just ignore toggle for the minute for a moment, and you could duplicate this over if you wanted to, but um, uh, so let's see what you got here. You're going to tell them how, like hit them with the hero unit, tell them how it works, give them the key features and benefits, FAQs, and call to action. All right, so and this is where my item display thing was like tweaking because I wasn't sure if you were actually going to start the shopping process here, and it doesn't look like you are. But skip the weekly grocery run, our food service delivery, gosh, our food delivery service will get your groceries and deli favorites straight to your door on your schedule. How it works. So this is like a one, two. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, 4. Um, Shop for any item you normally pick up at the grocery store, including access to our full selection of deli goods. There, you're working in the stakeholder request. Choose a delivery day and time that works best for you. Interested in placing a recurring order? No problem. You can choose to subscribe to any of your items with a range of delivery options to choose from. Get some time back. Kick your feet up. I switch words around. I know that I'm not quite dyslexic, but I switch words around a lot when I'm reading to combinations that I think are more natural. I bet there is combinations that I'm more accustomed to seeing, like kick up your feet instead of kick your feet up. Um, but kick your feet up, and we'll get your food to you on time at an affordable price. All right, save hours of time. No need to commute to and from the store or wait in line. We'll do the heavy lifting to get your food to your door between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. anywhere in the greater metro area. Get quality food at an affordable price. In addition to fresh produce, quality provisions, including rotisserie, pastries, and more, not to mention a wide array of sandwiches. Easily adjust your order. As long as your order hasn't shipped, you can add and remove items to your heart's content, automate your deliveries, create subscriptions, FAQ, nutritional. Okay, get started. All right, so this isn't a bad first cut. Um, Typically speaking, on this third iteration, I begin to pull some images together to kind of okay, what would go with this? Would this have like some icons with it? Would it have And I'm not looking for you to actually pull the images. I'm looking for you to say okay, picture of something, icons of uh, numerical icons, like just something to begin guiding like what else is here. Um, but I think that overall, and what is the call to action? I didn't see anything that suggested like where the buttons would be or what the buttons would say. So that's really where that third iteration comes from. I do think that it's pretty straightforward. What's the main prompt? Then you're telling them how it works, and that's exactly how it works. And then you're selling them on the benefits, and then the FAQs. It's pretty straightforward. I think that you, if there's anything missing from the FAQ, I don't see a well because because it's there's going to be a question of price that comes in, and I don't think you have like a monthly fee or anything, but it might be in, the question of price is going to be and might be something that you could address in the FAQ, um, because it's the FAQ is out there so prominently. Um, but again, how do you make them transition into the shopping experience like that? That's like how do you get them to move off of here and into the experience? I think that's really the next big cut, and then thinking about what the other aspects of this, uh, what are the other elements that are going to be present in the experience. Let's go over here and look at Abby now. Now Abby's been working through a bunch of versions of her case study. And the one thing I want to mention here is you were talking about I want this one. This one I feel pushes the important info down too far down, down too far. See, I did it again. I switched the words up. I'm gonna go ahead and set the prototype. Um, I don't think you have really a prototype set up here. I just want to look at these. So the moment that I do this, it gives me a prototype start point, and then I'll come up here to this play button. I just want to take a look at how far down on the page it is. All right, so if we turn off the toolbar and footer, you get an idea of how far down on the page that is. This is pretty big, to be completely honest with you. All of this information feels actually pretty big. So we need to really kind of look at what are the sizes here that are being used. I think that might be one of the first things that you come back and address. So if we exit out of this, come on, there we go. Let's see how big this is. Oh, I don't want to do a prototype. Okay, so that's 22. This is 22. That's 28 for some reason. I don't see any reason for these to be larger. 22's even a pretty big. I think you're looking for somewhere between 16 and 18 on a lot of this stuff. And here you're on 16, and that's fine. I think what you have down here is fine. It's like this is getting pretty big. Um, let's take a look at some of the other ones though that you had, just so you kind of get a sense of, we'll just connect these together. Like, okay, so that one is connected. Let's just spread these out so they're a little easier to connect. Let's drag and drag. You know how to do all this stuff because you just recently did a presentation or a prototype. All right, so no real change there. This one comes up a bit, and it's just a smaller photo is what allowing that, and then this one goes with a totally different layout. What's interesting to me is the concept of what this image is going to be, or what that image is going to be for that matter. Um, this is going pretty big. Is this like a long desktop view? Is this like what is this structure going to be that is going to need all this space? And is it a situation where, and this comes into how you design it, because I know you're working in Webflow. Is this a situation where it is a square photo? Is this a situation where it should be locked into a corner and it's actually a cutout of, it's basically a cutout of some pages where it has no background? Like what is everything keeps coming back to this image. What is the image? That's the big question for me right now. Like, I think this information could go smaller. This information's fine. This information might be too big. I mean, it is the title of we're talking about, if this is your project and it's like fresh market, great. It's like it's either one line across or one line or two lines stacked. It's not even going to go over here. Now other projects you work on could, but this would be like fresh market. Like, it's the name of your application. This is a quick overview about what that application was. So really the biggest question of all here is, what's the image? Because whatever that image is, it's going to impact, sorry, I've got to keep coming back to, oh, it's already open over here. It's going to come back to how you set this up. And I almost said code it, but you're in Webflow, so you're not going to code it. You know, what is the structure you're going to use? Because I could see you using, like, okay, well, this is a section. Okay. And, you know, we already know that you can apply certain parameters, but in that section, you're probably going to have a couple of columns, you know, and, you know, oh, I'm in prototype mode. I was wondering why it's so difficult to get it to, there we go. So here you have column 1, right? And this column 1 is going to hold all that information, and probably including this, because it's not really going to bleed over unless you are writing something longer there. And here's column 2, right? Column 2 goes all the way over because it's the image. Or does it? You know, is this, you know, the other way that you could design this is, you know, this is a section. I'm going to put the image, this thing, into the background of that section, and then I'm going to design this to have, you know, this headline will go, you know, if this is 100%, I'm going to have it go 60% across, and then I will have this information essentially go 35%, and there's my design. I can't tell you how you should design this yet, mainly because I don't necessarily know what this shape is. If this shape is going to be a square thing, I totally wouldn't put it in the background. I would just I would make a 2-column design and work it that way. If it's going to be kind of this movable thing that doesn't really have any hard edges to it, but it's more of a collection of images, and it's kind of rough, and it, you know, maybe it anchors to the bottom, then I'm probably making a background image inside of that section. But it really comes, how you build this really comes down to what is going on inside of it, because I could build it a couple of different ways. Okay? All right. That's going to do it for today's edition of the Feedback Loop. I hope it was helpful for you, Bryn and Abby. It was certainly helpful for me to get an idea of where you're at in the process. If you're watching along and you're getting value out of this, please mash that subscribe button, hit the like, hit the little thumbs up for the like. There's all sorts of different notifications and bells and whistles here over here in YouTube. So feel free to smash all of those. I like the thumbs up better than the thumbs down. Helps us with the algorithm. But I appreciate your feedback. And if you have questions, if you're watching this later and you've got questions, throw it into the comments. Be happy to answer those for you. All right, I'm Chris Courtney. This has been NewPragmatic's Feedback Loop. I'll see you.